Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Total War Warhammer 3, the Realm of the Chaos Dwarves. This expansion's not called the Realm of the Chaos, it's something to the Chaos Dwarves. Welcome back to all these Chaos Dwarves, where at this point, nothing can stop us from enacting our grand plan. Actually, that's extremely false. If any of the other Chaos Dwarf factions were to declare war on us, we would be immediately in a terribly desperate position. And honestly, the same is probably true for these ogres. They like us a lot right now, but we have seen in the past how quickly such a thing can turn, especially once we no longer have Grimgor to beat up on, because he has been removed from the game. They are definitely getting some value out of the caravans we're sending them. That matters. Can we negotiate a formal ceasefire here? No, I cannot even afford to buy off your interest. Ugh, all right. Well, part of that is that I have 200 gold. All right, it's fine. We'll figure it out later. Drazoth has moved as much as he can for the turn. You are still desperately trying to get experience. Nope, never mind. We're out of money. I mean, this faction's about to stop existing, right? I don't really need to be concerned about them. Let's scout ahead and try to figure out what the territory on the way to the next major relic looks like. And then I don't think we have anything else that's like terribly pressing for this turn. We know we're saving up a big pile of raw materials. We almost have enough conclave influence to buy a new seat. Yeah, I think we're probably good for the turn. Oh, convoy dispatch though. Pretty important to have convoys running, although with the resources we have right now, maybe we can't actually do that profitably. Like, what am I going to send out? Yeah, I don't have enough gold or armaments to do anything. Okay, we're going to fix this problem next turn. We'll send out a nice big load of gold to secure something. I don't even know what. Just something. Just keep the resource cycle rolling. Now we probably can actually take on the quest battles with our secondary army, I guess, if we wanted to. What's your deal? You want trade? Okay, yeah, I love trade. Look at all the goods I can sell you. Yeah, you can see here the balance of power bar indicates that the other Chaos Dwarf factions are actually doing really well. Disturbingly well. See, I'm definitely thinking about the fact that only one of us can win. And in the Ursun campaign, once you get to a certain point in victory progress, all of the other players automatically declare war on you because of course they do, because they have to stop you from winning. If there is such a moment in this campaign, oh wow, those guys are really far away. We're going to ignore this quest. If there is such a moment in this campaign, I think it bodes very ill for us indeed. All right, so now we can send out a load of gold to purchase something important. I mean, it's labor, right? What we want to buy is labor. I wish these convoys had their destinations listed on them more obviously, so that I could, like, at a glance tell where we already are sending people. But this seems like it'll work. 1,700 gold for 1,200 labor is totally fine. And we will make good use of 1,200 labor. Speaking of having money, this is the time when we would try to buy this off. Yeah, okay. 1,700 for an agreement not to attack each other. At the very least, if he decides to backstab us, this will probably slow down the process of the backstabbing. So I think well worth it. And let's get the hell back to our own territory, shall we? I think the thing that makes the most sense is probably to just underway all the way up there, and we can get pretty close to Mount Crag soon. Wow, Sark actually did manage to recruit 6 units in a single turn. as you might imagine, they're going to turn out to be garbage. And then he has this settlement with no walls and a tiny 9-unit garrison, and this is goodbye to this faction for sure. Oh, you know, they managed to recruit catapult at least, but yeah, mostly goblins. One of my hobgoblin units was killed. So I do think we're just gonna raise this. I don't want it. I just need them not to have it. Managed to steal a charmed shield from them. Okay. Short duration, but also short cooldown. Pretty hefty damage resistance buff. And also, it's a piece of armor. The second piece of armor we have ever found. For a faction who's like all about forging and stuff, the Chaos Dwarves seem to be remarkably bad at getting equipment together. Alright, so we've got a choice here. 3 skills that are mutually exclusive. This one gives us cooldown reduction on our spells. This one makes our lord unbreakable and untiring, which is definitely high value if you are planning to use him as a melee character a lot. And then this is casualty replenishment rate, vigor loss reduction across the entire army, and also recruit rank up for cool monster units. I mean, the vigor loss reduction against the whole army feels like it's got to be so much more significant than flesh sacrifice, right? This is the way we're going. Your units get tired when doing stuff like moving around or fighting in melee. And the more tired they get, the worse they are at fighting. It's pretty straightforward. And you want them not to be that way. Hey guys, what if instead you didn't get tired? You just killed with incredible efficiency. Alright, and that has removed the faction, yes? Okay, good. Yeah, you tell him, Sisythus. Just a lot of shouting, constant shouting. So, where exactly are we on these? This is at Karakdum, which we are right next to. It belongs to a friendly player, though. If we were to get friendly enough... Yeah, control it through direct ownership or through vassals or military allies. I don't think this player likes us enough for that military ally thing to occur. I'm not going to be heartbroken if we can't get the hammer, though. I don't think it's a big deal. So really what we're doing is we're heading past here toward the Vale of Nightmares and the Sunken Sewers. It's really not that far. Yeah, we're definitely going to make good use of the military, what do you call it? The military access. Alright, Karak Vrag gets a great big upgrade. And then we can pursue some other upgrades here. There's some things we can do with money alone. Definitely worth building up one of those in each place. Yeah, but unfortunately, in most spots, what we really need is just more raw materials. You go through a lot of raw materials during periods of expansion. Like, really a lot. Okay, this is still gold upgrades, but it's more gold than we can afford. We'll also do these gold upgrades. And, you know, we'll build the strip mine eventually, I'm sure. Alright, I think I'm pretty okay with that spending. We need to bank up a lot of resources. Yeah, most of the places that we can... Yeah, I think we're good. It's like, technically, you have expansions available in a lot of places. I will take that non-aggression pact. This is going to annoy a fair number of potential allies, now that we have 2 trade contracts with one of the Chaos Demon factions, but in the end, I think it's fine. And we won't need to be in their territory for very long, so even if they, if you were paying attention when we were looking at we saw their opinion of us briefly, it is falling, and it's not that high to begin with. But if they decide to turn on us, hopefully we'll be far enough away that it won't matter by the time that happens. I am not expecting any of the Western factions to automatically declare war on us as our progress increases, because I don't think they care about our contest. They're locked in their own problems. A Hobgoblin Wolf Raider is being ready to ride out with a resupply of improved Hellforge armory surplus for the convoy. While ensuring he delivers as much as his scrawny frame can carry, we need to decide which equipment will give the greatest chance of repelling threats. So plus 10 melee attack, 20 weapon strength, and this is a pretty ranged heavy army. Honestly, neither one of these is good. Again, this is an army that's really hoping to solve their problems further out than that. I guess. I mean, I tend toward offense. You know, enemies that are dead are rarely dealing very much damage to you. Do we have a sense of what this battle is going to be against? It's going to be against Chaos Demons, Nurgle Demons in particular, I guess. We know that. I really do think I want this to be our primary lord. Let's back up, heal up, replace the one unit that fell. We'll figure out what we want to do with Baruch next. Is this over the line into my territory? It is. Okay. Start to get our replenishment here. That's very good news. Who are you?
I've been looking forward to this.
Huh. Oh, this is that Norskin faction they wanted us to end up battling. Just they've managed to extend all the way down here somehow. They have 5 settlements. Well, I mean, we probably could crush this army, that settlement. I don't think I would go any further than that. And then their territory is broken up and the rest of it's like way up here. I don't know. I feel like the ogres they'll handle it. I'm not going to bother with this. I don't care about this. All right, forward scout. Go forth and scout, you know, forwardly. All right, what is our next big raw materials purchase? I mean, there's certainly upgrades that are worth making over here. Is any one of these 3 settlements particularly worth leveling up to 3, like over the others? I think the answer is no. We don't have any, like, landmarks or anything to put in here. This region does need to upgrade its Chaos Dwarf recruitment. And that, I suppose. Yeah, at this point, most of our like critical upgrades are gold based. Is the Black Fortress as upgraded as it's getting reasonably? No, we still need to finish pushing up here. That's all armament work, though. So increasing the rate of armament production is probably a pretty good way to deal with that. Oh, right. And then we have like, I really wish that the Conclave influence was next to a button that opened up the tower. So I was thinking High Commissioner, right? Workload requirement for raw materials down, raw materials consumed down, just a little tiny bit of added efficiency on all of our raw material trades. Feels like a pretty big deal given the quantities that we're dealing with here. Is there anything of terrible import to do at Black Fang? I actually don't think so. I don't think there's anything I particularly care about. Carrick Azorn is just like in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, I don't... I don't actually want to build anything there. I think that's the major problem, is just remembering which places we don't actually want to interact with. All right, it'll be a couple of turns of running before Drazoth is at... Oh yeah, the hissing pits already fell. The ogres are going to crush those Norskins. It's going to be a couple of turns of running before Drazoth's back at full health, but we don't really need to think about it. We will definitely be healed up before we are out of our own territory. And I guess we can send Baruch's army like down south to start figuring out the situation around the other major relic. We've been ambushed by kinda nobody with this gun heavy lineup. We should be able to absolutely destroy this. Yeah, show them their place. How dare they? It would be an insult to Hashut to allow them to live. Honestly, I don't think we would have taken anywhere near that amount of casualties if I'd done that manually. I guess let's grab the captives. I know it's not very much, but none of the other results were very much either. Alright, is that the fastest way through the mountains? Yeah, underway movement's pretty much always going to be...
Stroll.
Stroll, by the way, is the Khazalid word for stroll.
Lakash. Migdal. Debdarwi. Argrundal. Haskala.
We're not high enough level to get any of the other regiments of renown yet. So what do we want to put into this army? We do have some openings. We could grab some, like... We could grab some really tough stuff. Ooh, we have Hell Cannons available. Lamassu and Great Tauruses at pretty high recruitment levels. You know what I kind of want to do? I think... Let's kick out this unit, this one unit of archers, and replace them with something a little bit more impressive. So this army at this point has kind of a weird little melee corps. We have some charging monster units already. We have 4 guns. So it makes sense to recruit more long range stuff, and like adding a pair of hell cannons I don't think is a bad idea. We're going to want some destroyers. I guess that's the thing we might be wanting to think about with Drazoth is stopping off to grab some destroyers and stuff on the way to the next battle. Do you want hell cannons? Maybe? I'm thinking, like, we can definitely afford to kick out the hobgoblins. This army can become basically all really elite units. We get our fast global recruitment in any settlement that has an upgraded siege building, right? Yeah, the siege building knocks off global recruitment duration for armies in its region. Unfortunately, I don't think we actually have an upgraded one of these anywhere near the front. That's the sort of thing that we'd probably want to build in Carrick Vrag, given enough time. But for the moment... Yeah, for the moment, I don't know. And it's definitely not convenient, and I don't want to just stop and sit for like 6 turns. So we might worry about it later. And I think I am just going to grab... Yeah, we could use some more range here. I know we have kind of like a weird smattering of ranged units already, but... Oh, right, I didn't leave us enough money to do all the recruitment in one turn. Well, whatever, we'll stagger it. It's fine. It's not ideal, but
Up, crew. Move in.
All right, just get an idea of what's going on up ahead, and I think with that we're ready to... Yeah, because we are like totally out of resources. Ready to end the turn. Another thing we could do, and actually maybe this is the right way to approach this, is we could spawn an army at the capital to take advantage of the recruitment buildings there. Recruit some siege units to it, and then just run them up to the front and transfer them over, and then disband the third army. Just use it as a troop train. I don't know if that would actually save turns. Gosh, you sure are riding into my territory there, friend. We've encountered a Beastmaster. Do we want to lose some cargo to add a Charybdis to this? Yeah, hell yeah. Hell yes, accept the beast. A Charybdis is a particular kind of, like, very angry Hydra.
Ease up, crew.
Definitely worth having on board.
Work hard, Kublo. Aduhai.
Part of what we're doing here is route scouting. And again, this is a little awkward because of the fact that Sisythris can't underway. So this is Luktaz the Bronze. Let's... we're kind of past all of the relevant stuff. At this point, like, I guess leadership kind of matters. It's not impossible that Luktaz could end up in melee with somebody, right? Alright, we definitely have access to the resources to pursue any branch of any tree that we want, given a little bit of setup time. So if we follow this up, it becomes centaur buffs, and then flying monster buffs. This seems fine. We haven't taken any sorcery improvements at all. Where do these get good? Recruit rank up for your lords and heroes. Modifies a couple of spells very slightly. Okay, cooldown and wins cost reduction for Drazoth spells is interesting. And then you can get additional buffs to some of the other lores. I mean, I don't know. We're already immune to all kinds of attrition, which makes that a lot less interesting. Research rate up is a lot more meaningful early on. I kind of don't feel like, honestly, this sorcery stuff is very good for us. Extra uses for abilities granted by Tower of Jar seats is maybe kind of cool. Here. Okay, labor organization and all this stuff is pretty good. So we need to bank a little bit to get Industrial Revolution, and then we have to just research something in the meantime. You know, ambush success chance up. It's fine. It's not useless, and that's really all we can ask for in this situation. And then I think we do want to take on upgrades that are mostly gold-based. But we don't necessarily want to do anything else. I'm going to hold off. I'm going to hold off on this convoy dispatch until next turn when we have some gold. I wish the convoy dispatch was earlier in the... as far as I know, I don't think we can edit this. But the sort of the priority settings for end of turn notifications, It should absolutely tell me that I have an available convoy dispatch before it tells me I can build buildings. It's fine. It's a very minor gripe. Now, one thing that might be nice is if we could get the ogres all the way up to agreeing to a proper alliance with us, even just a defensive alliance, we could start recruiting units from their makeup. And there are a couple of ogre units I wouldn't mind having. In practice, I think a lot of the interesting ogre units are basically just going to be like, they're going to fulfill the same role that the Kadai do. Alright. So we have 2 convoys that we can send out here. What I would like is to go gold for labor as much as possible. Because it turns out it takes a lot of labor to run an empire. And then we do have Kalani Growlish ready to rock as well. And that is all of the places where we can do that kind of trading. Over here, we can trade for raw materials, which is probably also worthwhile. And we're bringing in the gold fast enough now that we don't have to worry about, bad exchange rates and whatever.
Strolden. Nutoria.
All right, we're not seeing any unusual stuff. There's no like enemy armies in weird places. That is, you sometimes can run into weird problems even going through friendly territory because you have somebody who is fighting your ally just pop up and then devour you or something like that.
Dragon Bezeki.
All right, upgrades for the convoys. Gotta remember to hold on to enough raw materials for the tech upgrade. I mean, basically it just means I have to get my tech upgrade at the beginning of the turn, which is something that was already, I already needed that to be the case. Oh wait, what am I... I'm looking at Carrick Azorn. That's the problem. Carrick Vrag very much does not have the siege building. Okay. Well, it was smart to build it in Carrick Azorn, but unfortunately we moved away from Carrick Azorn so quickly that we never actually got to make use of it. Oof. Even at 83, he's negative 13 on forming a defensive alliance. That's a shame. We are probably somewhat unlikely to ever be able to make an alliance with him then. He seems too skittish about the concept. We definitely don't want to do any upgrades there. Lots of units, or lots of trade caravans running out of there. So, yeah. It's actually not going to take all that many turns to cross over here. All of those movement campaign map movement bonuses we've stacked up have been very helpful, and this is exactly the sort of reason that you want those things. Do I care about military access with you? The next problem I need to solve is down here somewhere. I don't know that I do, and I'm a little leery of taking on too many demon contracts, again, just because of the way it turns our neighbors against us slowly. It is not always worthwhile to take the free thing. Sometimes the free thing is in fact too expensive. We've encountered rats in a tunnel, so this army with the Vargulfs and the Centaurs up against a Hell Pit Abomination, Storm Vermin, Death Globes. You know what? Let's avoid the battle and keep moving. Don't take the shortcut. That could be very annoying.
Good Vagrais!
Those are actually like pretty dangerous Skaven units.
Idaldis Bindash Fatadrash Kazad.
All right, we're getting out into the open again where it might make sense to go back to March mode. I need to remember to actually... You know what? At this point, why don't we just go south and recruit the second Hell Cannon in a place where we're going to get the faster recruit time. Now that we have a bunch of extra labor that's come in, nope, it's still not actually fulfilling our workload requirements. Jeez. Well... I guess we should upgrade this to make sure that we can finish off the gold smelter. Tower roads are worth upgrading. We'll get the big raw materials push here before we have to take our next tech, and I will remember not to do anything else with it. That's a pretty critical part of things, is just remembering not to throw your resources away. Drazoth has gained... Okay, leadership during subterranean intercept battles. So whenever you move near or past an enemy army using the underway, there's a chance that they will intercept you and basically get a free non-ambush but movement interrupting battle against you. That is what a subterranean intercept battle is. It's not a big deal. I will absolutely hire on some man-eaters. 1,000 gold means nothing to us. Alright. Convoy destination stuff has shifted. We're having a little bit of an industrial revolution. At this point, at this moment, just right now, all of a sudden. Alright, does it make more sense to switch back to March? It does not. I mean, crossing the river... Not having to pay to cross the river, rather, is a pretty big deal. Alright, go forth and bring me all of the information. Okay, so a bunch of Nurgle armies around here. That's pretty good for us. They will keep the path safe. See, this army actually does get better movement by marching south than by underwaying south, which is interesting. Back here in the capital. Alright, we probably want to save up a fair amount of armaments for the final upgrade on this building. So I guess let's not... Oh, we have enough stuff for another seat. Construction costs down for each industry seat you've claimed. And that's all gold construction costs. Well, it would not be a very big bonus, unfortunately. We could take this just to make sure that gets filled out. But maybe we claim the Doom of a Shut. Alright, so next time somebody takes a tier 3 seat, the actual conclave will open up, and we will be able to force confederate with the other Chaos Dwarf players, and I think that's probably a good idea before they can be turned against us, you know? So for the moment, maybe I just want to end the turn. We have a ton of gold. Yeah, it's probably worth pursuing like those kinds of upgrades. Alright, what if even more money? You know, with these fast turns, we might actually be able to go to battle for this relic this episode. I think we're gonna make it. It's nice that the Nurgle forces kept the path pretty clear for us, making my life nice and easy. I hate to say this because, you know, of the propensity of the game to suddenly turn on us and make me eat my words. But I do feel like maybe this has gone a little too smoothly overall. It's just been, as far as the campaign as a whole. Once we got past that early bit where we were being attacked from all sides, or at least threatened from all sides, things have been like real smooth. I have to say it, right? We have to set up the the possibility of the hilarious betrayal. So am I just going back home, more or less? Yeah, probably. Best way to do that will be just avoid the river altogether. Makes sense to me. Let's learn a thing or two about stockpiling. Iron and timber provide armaments bonuses for their province. I have no idea if we are well positioned to take advantage of that or not. Worth noting that increased resource allocation requires 2,000 raw materials, so we will not be able to afford it for certain at the beginning of any given turn. Alright, out here in the open and not having to get across rivers, we actually do move faster by just running. Hey Skulf, how's it going? And at this point, I think we can just turn Sisythris around. Go try to scout out the other location. So this upgrade's going to cost 2,500. That is very significant. There, let's grab the tower upgrade so that we can move faster. I do think we're just bringing Baruch's army home. I think we're not going to pursue any other real upgrades here. So if we took over the blue player, it would get us all of this front stuff. It would really like fill in our empire in a really nice way. It would give us a front that is right up against a couple of hostile Western Dwarf factions. And then also puts us pretty close to Kislev. They have feelings. They have strong feelings about my entire situation. So, interesting. I think that's better. As a first confederation, that makes more sense than confederating the ones with the black flags. I do not know their names. I apologize. Because the ones with the black flags have a much more exposed position, I feel like. And then the third faction, we ate them already. They were weak, and so did we consume. I really, really wish we could have gotten into a defensive alliance with these ogres. As much for peace of mind as for getting to recruit a mixed unit force, which is a thing that I just think is the most fun, no matter whether it's even actually helpful. We've encountered a skulking horde. So this is, okay, the ones with the... up against a fairly serious undead army. So there's a couple units of flyers that'll go down pretty easily to gunfire. I'm debating whether I think we can handle this. I don't love losing a unit of Chaos Dwarf warriors. I don't know. We might have been able to win that fight. But, like, why put yourself in the position to have to, right? Okay. I can get to the edge of the blue circle. Is that good enough, or do I need to wait until next turn? It is not good enough. All right. And you are... honestly, having to cross some of this territory, are we better off? No, we are not better off going back into underway mode. It probably makes sense for us at some point to recruit that third army. We could definitely afford to pay for it.
Benda bin Ekusan.
So I kind of want to go generally south, right? Oh, it's like south and very west. So this is where we are headed ultimately. Down by Talabheim, which belongs to the other major ogre faction. So we're talking about through all of... Yeah, wow. Okay. So we need to cross this river
Bless us.
as early as possible. And... gosh, we still need just a crazy amount of armaments. 12,000 gold. There's got to be some settlements that mostly need gold-based upgrades. Yeah, these upgrade with gold. These upgrade with gold. There we go. Wow, that's a very bad army. It was like a couple of real units at the head, and then just nurglings, which are like basically chaos goblins. Except that goblins know how to wield weaponry and can sometimes do damage via cleverness. Nurglings barely have brains at all. Alright, vampire stuff going down in Vampire Town. The vampire stuff will matter to us at some point. We are going to care when we are at war with those other dwarves, because the vampires could potentially provide some backstab pressure. Hooray! Convoy. Do we have... yeah, we have leaders ready. Let's go ahead and run some more convoys. So, our available options have shifted some. Running out to Grungzint is probably worthwhile. And then we're going to want to run Skaldorish out as well. Again, I think I'm just going to take gold for labor. This is a really short distance, so the payout, well, it's still 714. It's not horrible. But yeah, it is like 50 or well, like 2/3. It's like 2/3 of the other convoys payouts. Alright, you know where you need to get. Convoy masters are getting better at convoy mastery. Oh, I guess I'm going to have to cross the water here. I probably could have just gotten in the water on this side then, skipped the river crossing entirely. Whatever, it's fine. What am I waiting for on raw materials? Here, I do think I want to build some defensive structures. The Tower of Gorgoth is a major settlement, right? And it's not too far from all the hostilities, potential hostilities. Yeah, I think that's a good target. We are actually going to produce over 2,000 raw materials on this next turn, thanks to the labor income, so we can afford to spend that much. Yep, I'm ready. Okay. Lord Festerlung the Regurgitator. So, these Plague Bearers of Nurgle are pretty much just big meat shields. You can see there, 30 attack, 32 defense. Not actually fantastic fighters, but they do have that poison. They have a little bit of unaccounted for physical resistance here. And the idea is they really just, they get up in your face and they block and make your life miserable. These exalted ones have plague grenades that they throw as they approach or as you approach them, which is extra annoying. The Nurglings, like we said, are basically just chaos goblins, not a real threat. These great unclean ones, on the other hand, are massive monsters with armor-piercing attacks. They do a ton of damage. I believe they have some built-in spells. However, they are pretty bad against a large amount of gunfire, and we just happened to bring an awfully large amount of gunfire. So they're gonna do some harm, but we are ready to counter them. The question, of course, then becomes, what else? What are we not being told about, right? This army has effectively no real ranged attacks, so we can definitely, like, move up to Castellan plus Fireglaive plus Iron Demon range, and then just pepper them until they approach. But, like, there are very obviously spigots built into this map to allow more enemies in. So let's try to hew close to the right side so that we have time to turn and prep. And we're going to be doing plenty to reposition after we do our initial placements here, so these don't have to be bulletproof or anything. Y'all back there. Okay. Comfortable with that. So, movement orders look like this. You can see this is the range of those chaos grenades, or those plague grenades. Not very impressive. There is an awkward ground problem here. This is way closer than we would like to be. But I guess, you know, our units don't have range that's all that much better. Maybe we do have to... Sorry, all of you. Yeah, maybe we do have to close to this degree. Only 126 range on the Iron Demons. Let's just kind of get all the infantry in the area. Get up here, we'll figure it all out afterward. You guys can fight from... I don't know, we'll figure it out. Cavalry just kind of runs up to here. Alright, and let's bring our spellcaster up and harass them some. Oh, actually, they're willing to approach us, it seems like. I'm a little surprised by that, and I think it's going to change our plan. Apologies. We're just going to set up a new set of orders here. So, if they're willing to approach, let's set up where the ground is relatively flat. Like, I think we've got a pretty good opening volley across here. Maybe even more like this, leaving that spot at the top for the Fireglaves. You can do this. Y'all can set up on this side. Infantry right behind and ready to run up. Yeah. The cav back here because they don't know what to do with them. Alright, and we do still ride forward in a very serious way with our lord, because we're just going to drop some fire spells on the approach. What I would love to do is damage as many of their exalted plague bringers as possible. Is there a place where we can, like, really... No. There's not really a place where we can double up on those. Alright, something else is stirring. Not a big surprise. That's beautiful. What else? What else dares stir? Oh, there's some, yeah, there's some gross stuff going on. Just kind of around. right, so here's that great unclean one. The Infernal Guard are taking 4 fucking ever to get in position. Do you have... You don't have an anti-large bonus or anything? I am definitely thinking, like, about just putting him on... Yeah, just charge the great unclean one. Fuck it. The Doom of Hashut, a bombardment spell. I want to drop this, like, in the path. I know these are just normal plague bearers and stuff, but it is a lot of incoming. Let's try dropping this right in front of them. See how that goes. Ugh. Gross plague magics. So what have we over here? Ugh. Plague toads and pox riders, which are just guys on the backs of plague toads. Yeah. All right, these are bad news, actually. These are, as you can see there, 36 charge bonus is, like, fine. They're pretty decent anti-infantry. Like, this is a good charge and infantry force in the backside kind of group they got here. We are in considerable danger. However, nothing is more important than bringing down their exalted great unclean one. You should also shoot him. I'm going to have a couple of the melee units kind of like fan out to receive that charge. You four... I don't want to like completely block people up. And the approach is still pretty slow here. I'm going to have them spread out a little bit more, fill in the space. And I think I'm going to have my cav come up here and let's countercharge these enemies. Try to give our friends over here some room to work. So this Flame and Shadow bombardment. Okay, decent plus even. That was very effective. That was more effective than I was expecting it to be. They really handled that quickly. Well, do we want to reset them? Yeah, okay. All right. Our gunners are so effective that the correct solution to this plague toad problem might actually be to just reset them on the plague toads. We have this guy. You know what? I'm going to bend the whole gunner formation. We're going to grab as much of this guy as we can. I'm going to send some of the melee through here since that turned out the way it did. You guys, I actually just want you to like hard body charge that enemy. And I think that Drazoth's probably going to do a fine job of holding this guy down. He probably doesn't need any help. We can like throw down a spell in the path of some slowly approaching enemies. You can see they're buffing up their own units, trying desperately to match us, which they will not be able to do. We are definitely taking a beating on this melee front. Things are not going to get better. We need this thing to resolve so that we can turn our other units around, but I think we're blocking in some of this some of the fire's not occurring because we are in the way. All right, get those exalted plague bearers. Yeah, you guys run that way. What is this? It's another unit of... I guess they took so much damage from the magic that they're disincorporating. Yeah, this charge has got to get dealt with. We'll just turn the Fireglaves. And it kind of feels like, actually, maybe the cavalry would be better served countercharging. Drazoth's shields have just now gone down. So he's feeling like he's in a pretty good spot. Try to get the Kadai not to receive a charge directly. Alright, run them around the side. And the, oh gosh. Okay, so the decaying flesh has attracted rotflies. Rotflies are actually one of the better Nurgle units. Basically flying cavalry. And they actually are something of a danger to us. I can't believe this Great Unclean One is still alive. Looks like we did clear out the one over here. I don't even see its body anymore, but they rot away pretty fast. Let's grab these ranged units and reposition to receive rotflies, basically. You guys are doing fine work. Don't change anything. Nobody actually needs a reload yet. Let's dump a little bit of Cinder Shot into, I don't know, those guys. Yeah, Fireglaves are doing excellent work. Oh, he's kind of wrapped up in melee, actually. That's really awkward. Still trying real hard to kill this this Great Unclean One. It is not happening. I'm wondering if we might be better off putting the Iron Demons into charge mode and just having them run into these groups. I was really not expecting this to take so long. Thought our man here would handle it. Can crash out the Great Unclean One's melee defense. Because I would love to have Drazoth available to fight aerial enemies, you know? Looks like we managed to bring down some of the flies. We don't really need the bull centaurs with the throwing weapons over here. I might have them come over and, sorry, not melee mode. Just throw some garbage at this unclean one. Like get it figured out. All right, the ranged are in position to hopefully shoot some flies down. Although it looks like mostly what they're actually doing is taking charges from the flies. Alright, this front is collapsing. They are having a hell of a time. Stay on him. His melee defense is tanked. Who is this? Alright, sorry Chaos Dwarf Warriors. Your shit is probably about to get pretty wrecked. I do apologize. But I also need you to hold those enemies in that spot, so good luck. Alright, this unit of Pox Riders is tying on an awful lot of dwarves. It'd be really nice if we could get some people to break free here. One unit of Rotflies seems to have received enough fire to actually go down. I'm going to try to break these up a little bit. The Great Unclean One is breaking. That's working pretty well. It did do some friendly fire damage for sure. Okay, they're disincorporating. Whew. That turned out to actually be really harsh. The main army there was not all that dangerous, but those reinforcements were very serious. It was actually a huge amount of danger. All right, attaining the Mark of Chaos is both a blessing and a curse. In the eyes of the fickle gods, there is always room for greater glory for their eternal slaves to darkness. That's why we take chaos into our own hands by drilling into hell and stealing the blood of our gods. Really, when you think about it, it's the only way to maintain your agency in such a relationship. So, okay, we only almost lost people. And that should be a lot of combat XP at least. We didn't really stack up all that many kills on anyone. I think a lot of the enemies technically died to morale loss, which can definitely be a problem for Nurgle units. And that's a bummer, but we don't get proper credit for that. None of these effects are any good. I guess every little bit of labor helps. What is it, Valkia? I still don't want a treaty with you. Also, why would I care about a non-aggression pact from a player who has, like, no army and 2 settlements? I guess their assumption was that I wouldn't care, and that's what the gold was for. Alright, we have acquired it. The ancestor relic of Grimnir. The golden bands of Grimnir are ours. Snatched from under the pathetic Dowi's noses, this ancient relic of their warrior god belongs now to the Dowi Jar. With it, we could power the great drill. You know how the thing is. Okay, so if we claim it for ourselves, we get these golden bands, which are good. Objectively good. But we also could throw the golden bands into the drill and get an experience and stat gain for all of our characters. We're going to put them in the drill. A seat you controlled. I really wish it would tell you which seat. Your demon smiths toil over wretched Grimnir's relic, binding the artifact to a demon and despoiling its energies with the potent corruption of chaos. The Dowi's fearless warrior god will now serve to power the Great Drill, churning reality until Hashut's realm is finally within reach. And let's be honest, it's a job he's more suited to. Alright, what got stolen from us? It wasn't one of these seats, so I think I don't care that much. It was this one, right, that we usurped from them previously. So I kind of feel like, I don't know if they're allowed to place in the Conclave, if the other Chaos Dwarf factions can confederate each other. Obviously, they can't force us into confederation. But I might wait until we have like 900 Conclave influence, open up the top tier and grab one of them all at once, just so they don't have any time to react to it in any way. We're going to go ahead and click this to make sure that I remember to do it. Yeah, okay. It got a little dangerous, but we made it through. We're all right. So let's get a little bit more ambush success chance. Then we get to move up to Iron-Willed here. Casualty replenishment rate up dramatically for our Lord, which we are going to be able to make use of immediately. And then once we get through here, we get Lightning Strike and, like, Alert, or maybe Serve or Die. Unbridled Cruelty at the top of this line will give us another upkeep reduction and another campaign movement reduction. Although at this point, honestly, maybe the red line would be more worthwhile. I don't know. It's not a big deal. We don't have to stress too much about this. I think they will both be fine. More leadership for you. And you know what? Before we do anything else this turn, I think we got the really critical stuff committed. Let's just go ahead and call it there for today. That's going to be it for us for right now. Thank you all so much for watching. We are 3/4 of the way to a fully powered drill, and it's hard to even conceptualize exactly what this thing's going to do when we finish it, because, like, the Realm of Hashut is an abstract... It's fine. You know what? It's fine. The drill doesn't need to make sense. It just needs to work. Come back next time to see us head quickly for that 4th relic. We might be able to wrap this thing up before anybody really realizes what's going on. Fingers crossed. And we'll see you then.